Hello everyone, welcome back to Ninetale Hobbies. This one we're going to be covering the infantry units from Bot Wars Turbo Edition 2. Now, I know everyone's all hot and bothered about the new Legion Imperialis, or I think that's what it's called, and I'm not here to yuck anyone's yums, and the models are cool for it and everything, but there's something special about these old school style metal minis. And I know a lot of people are not too crazy about metal minis, but they're really not as difficult or as hard or whatever the idea is behind all of them. Not a lot of cleanup, just a little bit of clipping off the ends. I wanted to try painting some still on the sprue that they come with, and then some of them on the bases. I gave all of them a general zenithal. And the paint scheme for these is fairly simple. I did stick to how it is in the book. They've got black, they've got gray, they've got red, a tiny little bit of skin. Some of them have brown, and I used the white on there just to, in case there was a mess up or anything. But it's a fine tip brush, not a small brush. I just happen to have a favorite size 0 that is on its way out and everything that I like to use with contrast paints. But yeah, even though these are really tiny, I've heard a lot of people recently like bemoan the size and everything, and really these are not difficult to paint. They've got just enough detail that you can pick out a couple of spots and everything, but you've got some clear separation, so you're not killing yourself trying to make sure everything goes exactly where it needs to be. And they come together really, really quick. I painted this entire bunch in probably under an hour, and it was a dozen minis, probably more like 45 minutes. But all of the foot soldiers got the same treatment, the same general base coating and everything. And then I just came in with some buff and dry brushed them out. I do use the Artist Opus method on this, so it doesn't give it that dusty feel. But yeah, and this just picks out, especially with the metal minis and everything, with the nice details, really picks out the highlights. And then I base coated all the foot soldiers on the hero bases in the same way I did all the other ones. And then the heroes got just a little bit more of attention. They have a little bit more detail to them and everything. And they took maybe 2 more minutes than a base soldier, just trying to keep everything closer to what it was. But again, these sitting 3 feet away from you on the tabletop, you are never going to notice if something is slightly off or not quite exactly what it's supposed to be. But I do enjoy a challenge, so I did take a bit of extra time on these. The Doc was pretty fun. He's the only one that really has a lot of skin tone, but I didn't even worry about his coat, just because the values were already there. And then this is the leader, General Venom. He's the Cobra Commander-esque guy, so instead of black with red, he is red with black. He does stand out quite a bit. He was a lot of fun. He had the most detail, the most little bits and pieces and everything, as is the want of any commander, especially in a nostalgia game like this. And then these got the same dry brush. I might have gone a little heavy with it, but it actually lightened them up quite a bit, so they're easier to see, which I ended up liking. And by the time it dried, it was definitely a lot more subtle than it initially is here that you can see. and then just used a general basing paste. Use the flat end to get all the big chunky bits covered, and they are on these raised bases, so I did have to build it up just a little bit. And then in between their feet, I used the other end of the sculpting tool. Dry brushed everything with buff as well, just to keep everything cohesive. Lighten the rim more than the middle, so the minis would stand out. Dug out little bits and pieces just because I had done that with the larger bots, and just gave it a little bit more variety. Painted that rim black. And these came out really nice. This is the first time I've ever painted 10mm minis. And while this isn't the same scale as the Warhammer micro stuff, with their scale creep and everything, I feel like they could work as Imperial Guard or anything. But if you have never played Bot War, it is a great game. I know the people that watch this channel regularly and everything have heard me go on. But if you've just now clicked on and are looking at this, definitely check out this game. The minis are awesome. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.